I wish I could come up more. I look like I'm really in the back. What do you mean you look like you're really in the back? Okay. You're live. Yay. So weird. I feel like there's a delay today. That's such an odd thing when it happens. Well, I hope everybody can hear me. Hello. Welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays. My name is Laurie Majka, the host of the Laurie Majka podcast. I have a special guest today. Today I have my sister, Stephanie, who lives in Kansas and is here with me this week visiting. So I decided it'd be perfect for her to be on. And of course, Blaze making an appearance. Such a crazy thing. So I think that today it looks like we've got a couple people in, and I'm sure that there will be more people joining, but it doesn't matter how many people are here. To me, the benefit of doing this is to give people an opportunity to ask questions that they may have wanted to ask in the comments. Maybe their questions haven't been answered. Maybe it's something really specific and it was too long to ask in a comment. But I want to give people a chance to ask anything really that they would like to know about, because I feel like these topics are so important. And I think it's the most important to understand how powerful you are as a soul, how you are really and truly a being of love, and that there is no fear of death, because death is actually an illusion. So those are the biggest topics today. So we've got a couple people on. I've got a thumbs up. Thank you very much. I cannot see. This is only my second live. And last week, I think I made a mistake in the live. And I think when I did it, I made it potentially unlisted. So I don't know if that was why nobody joined, or, it's one of those things that going live, it's not an exact science. It's a little bit different when I do my interviews with people, because I get the control of editing them all. So I would love to open up, since we've got a few people already watching. If you have something that you would like to ask, feel free to put your questions in the comments. It is so difficult now as this channel has gotten bigger. There was a time when I read every single comment and I responded to every single comment. And now I do not have the luxury of time of doing that. There are just far too many comments. And what's interesting also is I feel like as time has gone on, people have asked more and more complex questions. It's not a simple thing for me to type in a minute or two. They get a little bit deeper, and I really love to be able to elaborate. So this is part of why I wanted to do the Wake Up Wednesday. This really is about you, not about me. It's about you getting a chance to ask anything that you want to ask. So since nobody has a comment in the comment section yet, Steph, do you have something that you want to talk about? So Stephanie, my sister, if you haven't watched her interview, she was one of my first guests. Look at Blaze. Blaze is sitting here. She's so cute. Look at her. She's 10 months old today, sitting here like love and comfort while we're having our little discussion. So it's super fun. But if you have a question you would like to ask of either me or of Stephanie or both of us, wonderful. So Stephanie was one of the very first interviews that I did on my channel. She is my little sister, and she has had 2 near-death experiences. She is an intuitive, a medium, very gifted medium, and she is spot on with, answering people's questions that they have or connecting with their loved ones on the other side. So what would you like to say to everybody who's watching right now?
Well, the biggest thing that's come up in the readings that I've been doing as of late is that working on yourself has been a tremendous thing to bring in this new energy. So it's, you always think that you have to be doing something, that you have to go out there and be out there more. You feel this urge, this calling, a lot of people, to I should be doing more. And the biggest thing that's coming through is
from spirit.
Is to just work on yourself. So a lot of people are having other issues come up, things you thought you had gotten through. And then even for me, things that I thought I had gotten through and felt better about. And then all of a sudden they rear their ugly heads, and you're like, where is this coming from? And so it's just to come up, to process and let it go. And so doing that, there's a couple of ways that are really, really good. Like one of them is, say that you had an incident when you were younger. And then you, every time you go back and you think about that issue, emotion gets involved. And so you feel that anger or sadness or whatever it is. Taking yourself outside of it and looking at it as a different, as a third party, and not getting involved in the emotion lets you see what was really going on with both people. And when you do that, you can really let it go. And so a lot of that's been coming up in the readings.
So I think the concept that Stephanie's talking about is non-attachment. I think it's a super complex spiritual technique, and for a long time I wasn't very good at it. Non-attachment doesn't mean that you don't care about something. It's that you look at it from a detached perspective in order to not let it land in your body and cause other issues, problems, illnesses, etc.
That happened to me a lot. I'm an empath, and I would take on other people's problems and feelings, and wouldn't realize that it wasn't just mine. It was somebody else's. And the thing that I had to get used to doing was, I would speak out loud and I say, this isn't mine. If it wasn't mine, it would release. If it was mine, I'd still feel those feelings. But a lot of times people will be like, where did this come from? Why am I feeling this way? You know, just a few minutes ago, I wasn't feeling this way. A lot of those people are empaths.
So I'm curious, anybody watching or any of you empaths, is this something that you've experienced where you've tried to deal with the emotions of other people and you realized that it wasn't your own issue that was coming up, it was something else because of what you were surrounded by? Yeah. So that's a tough one. Okay, another thing I think that's been coming up a lot lately with especially the channelers that I've been talking to is, of course, we're going through this massive earth change and awakening. People are talking about going into 4D and 5D reality. They're talking about the changes that we're going to be seeing in the earth. The earth may be getting ready for rifts. If you watch Kristen's video recently, she channeled Sophia, the wisdom of ages, the female Christ consciousness, and they said that there's a lot coming in. And the biggest thing is to not surrender, or to not let the fear of everything take over, but to also stay present. And I think that it's always a challenge to stay present, but the emotions come in when we either are looking at what's happened in the past or maybe even worried about what's happening in the future. And the present is the only place where you can really stay grounded and happy and be a little bit more aware of the emotions, because I think when we get into our past and future memories, they kind of take over and you don't have control anymore, and all of a sudden you realize that you're in this downward spiral as you're reliving those different things. So okay, I think we've got a hello. Can I ask if my late older brother has a message for me? So Stephanie, that would be for you.
Yeah. Let me get something I use when I'm doing readings. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And then I'll be able to answer that.
Okay. So she's going to come back and try and answer your question. She is a really gifted medium, so lucky to have her here. All right. So I see Authenticity said yes all the time. It can make me want solitude a lot. Oh, I'm sure. Stephanie has a really cool technique that she shared a long time ago that helps with empaths so that you protect your own energy and it doesn't get taken over by by somebody else. And that is when you're in the shower, you imagine a two-way mirror. So if you think about a police station where they've got somebody in a room and they have a two-way mirror, it looks like a mirror. You can't see through it, but people on the other side can see through to you. So imagine that you have that mirror where the side that you can see through is on your side and the other side is blocking, and any energy that's coming in would bounce off of that mirror and go back to whoever it belonged to.
Right.
And I think it's really effective to do things like that in the shower because water is definitely sentient and it can cleanse and help clear where just, or grounding, even earthing or grounding, being attached to the earth is another way to do that technique.
Just one other comment I want to make about that is when you imagine these mirrors going around you in a cylinder shape, you're in the middle and you let spirit, white light, love, energy be filled with you. Then when somebody does a negative comment or does something not very nice to you, it bounces back on them. But the other thing is any love that's out there that is put towards you will still come through. It just keeps away the negative stuff.
Okay. So somebody in the comments asked if their late brother had a message for her. So or him. I'm not even sure who it is. I'm sorry. I can't see all the names. But tell everybody what you just got. What do you have in your hand? Do you
I'm sorry.
Are you hiding it?
So I use this amethyst when I'm doing readings. It's so helpful. Energy comes through it and it just grounds me and makes it so that I get messages easier. And so it fits in my palm of my hand really nicely. And you don't have to do that. I just like to do that. That's what works for me. Everybody kind of has their own thing that they do. Okay, so let me do this. Late older brother. You keep talking.
Okay. So first of all, I'm so grateful to each and every single one of you who tuned in tonight. This is super fun. I would imagine over time we'll have a lot more people who join these conversations because I think it's just a great place to be able to have a community. I've wanted to do this for a really, really long time, and I am so grateful for, makes me want to cry saying this, but I am so grateful for every single one of you who took your time tonight to join us, to want to connect. It just makes me feel so good to connect with the audience. Sometimes it's hard to do that when these videos are published and you don't get to meet a lot of people. You've probably heard me in some of my videos talk about the IANS conference. I love to go to those because it's a wonderful chance to actually connect and hug people that you would normally never get to see because you're behind a screen. So thank you so much. And I'll start to read the comments as she's talking and channeling. So
sure. Okay. So what I'm getting is that the first thing that came through was a feeling of being separate and not being able to say goodbye. That's the first thing that comes through, a big, huge energy of that. Feeling like there was distance and separation between you and your late older brother. And I want you to know that he is around you all the time. So the other thing that's coming through is sometimes when you don't have a good relationship during your life, when you leave, everything is seen for that person, how everything came into play. So it's all about what they were going through, what they were feeling, what you were feeling, what you were going through. And so they're able to see it in a much better light. And so that's coming through too. But I want you to know that they're on the other side and they're always with you. They're always around you. And so even if you didn't have a great relationship in your lifetime, that it's okay. It's not what's happening when they leave.
So the same person who asked that question also asked as a follow-on if you would get anything from, I think it was a father, deceased father. And while she's picking up on that, for the person who asked about the dragon, now that's an interesting. Somebody said that they got a download from a dragon. I'm not sure. I haven't had any encounters like that. I think the closest encounter I came to something that wasn't an entity that's just like a passed away human was when I did that interview with the gal from Ireland where the ferry crossed across while we were having our discussion. But I don't know what the dragon would mean. Do you want to talk about did you get anything? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. So with the deceased father, okay. So I get that there was distance in your relationship, a lot of distance in the relationship, and that he feels bad that that happened. There was a reason that he was so separate, and that even though he couldn't be there, he feels that now and wants you to know that that everything's okay. Does that resonate with you? Let me know.
Oh, the person when you said about the brother said, yes, that was me. 2 exclamation points. Oh, I remember that interview. Yeah, it was crazy. Okay. Do you want to speak to the dragon? So somebody said that they had a download from a dragon and wondered what that would mean. And I haven't heard anything like that before, so I have no idea.
Okay, so okay, I'm gonna sound crazy.
Go for it. Let's sound crazy.
Sound crazy. Dragons did exist.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of things out there that are unexplained that seem mythical to us now that weren't mythical. And dragons represent a lot of wisdom. And so it's a download that's coming from a lot of wisdom. And when I look at this, and in my mind's eye, of course, but when I look at it and see this at the time that you had it, were you feeling deep love and wisdom? Because there's so much of that coming in.
Okay, there's somebody else who said, today is the 10th anniversary of my mom's passing. I miss her so much. So sorry for your loss. And I hope that she knows how much she is loved by those of us who are here. So,
Oh, absolutely. I don't even need to go.
I know.
Absolutely.
We're both like chomping at the bit to second that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I've crossed over 2 times, so I can speak from my own experience, but I can also speak from every time I've been with spirit, every time I've been with a passed away loved one, that they absolutely know. And the funny thing is that even though you're here asking this question, they are right here with you. They are right here in every moment. They hear you. And I like to tell people about the transition. So when you transition from this life to the next life, it's like a ceiling fan. And if you put it on low, the ceiling fan's going very slowly. You can see the blades, you can feel the air, right? But then when you go to the other side, it's like putting the ceiling fan on high. It's spinning so fast you can't see the blades, but you still feel the energy. That's what you're feeling. That's what's happening. They're still present, just in a different form. So absolutely she knows about the love that's here for them. And their love is even bigger than it ever was here.
Yeah, and I want to add on, if you've watched my show very much, you'll know that I am obsessed with the life review in near-death experiences. It is a big part of the reason that I began interviewing people, because I feel the life review has so many components to it that help us understand why we're here more and what our ripple effect is on the world. So for you who have lost somebody in the audience, and that's probably every single one of us, when somebody crosses over, I believe one of the very first things that happens to them is that they have a life review. So in a life review, they are not just reviewing their life, they are reliving every single moment and every single interaction. but from this perspective of themselves with their higher self, not maybe how they were while they were human, but the higher perspective version of themselves is watching this. They could be watching it by themselves, with God, with Jesus, with a passed away loved one, with the soul family I'm interviewing. I just edited a video yesterday that I'm releasing Friday, where she, or I guess it was last Friday, I had, whatever it was, Monday, I released a video where his whole soul family watched his watched his life review. In any case, you are reliving it from your perspective, but everybody else's perspective that you interacted with. So if you've lost your mother, whoever you've lost, the father, the brother, every single one of those people had a life review where they re-experienced every interaction that they ever had with you. What that means is that they now know you and understand you on a level that, number one, they never could while they were here, but more importantly, they probably know you better than any other person that you could name in your life or that you have ever known on this planet, because they see every lifetime that contributed to why you are how you are, every aspect that you wanted to come here to experience, to understand, to unfold, why you were contracted with them, how you were contracted with them. So make no mistake, anything that happened between you is now understood on a level that they never ever would have been able to understand from a human perspective. And every thought that you have had for them, every word that you have uttered towards them, every feeling of love, anger, whatever, sadness, they have felt that and heard that. So there is absolutely nothing left unsaid, whether you hadn't seen them for 10 years or you were at their deathbed with them. So I hope that that's resonating with people, but I really and truly believe that to be true. Also from my experiences of being on the other side. I've not had a life review, but I do really resonate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to some of these comments.
Okay.
Because I was watching them. I love the description of the white dragon. That's amazing. And the pure love and pure ecstasy is so cool. But I can feel when you're talking about the diamonds that each particle had love in it. It's like it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. Not like a download, but when you are filled with the essence from either the universe or God or whatever you call a higher being, a whatever you think of, the super consciousness, whatever that is, that's raining down on you. And you don't get that a lot when you're here on this earth. So that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's so cool.
Okay, let's take a look see what some other people have said. When we made our soul contract, we agreed to play a certain role. If that is what we agreed to do, why is it that our life review would ever hurt we cause someone to get played back? Okay, great question.
Yeah.
Fantastic question.
Can we?
And it comes down to free will. As every good plan, as every good recipe, at some point in time, extra salt gets thrown in, emotions come back that we didn't anticipate. I think a lot of us, you are a perfect example, bit off more than they thought they could chew for this lifetime and decided that they were going to have all these different experiences and get in there.
Yeah. The biting off more than you can chew is about super growth in learning. So a lot of us have extra experiences, and that's because you really wanted to experience more and go through more.
You just put more on your grocery shopping list.
Yeah, and they feel like challenges, but on the other side, they're not challenges because everything is happening for you.
Absolutely.
Not to you.
Yes. Okay, so go back to the question. So you make your soul contract and you know it's coming, but I think you don't always anticipate how you're going to react, or how the other person is going to react. Just because you have a soul contract with somebody doesn't mean that both people are going to stick to the original rule and play by those rules. Sometimes people make different choices, other things happen. So I think, remember, from this detached perspective, when you're having your life review, you're not having your life review as you are right now. I'm not having mine as I am now, or you as yours. You are having it from your higher soul perspective. And just to give you an idea of what I mean by that, I have been on the other side many, many times, and I have experienced my higher self. I've experienced the collective. I have experienced the source energy. And when I was my higher self, the part that was my higher self in my human incarnation would fit in my pinky fingernail. It was a very, very small amount. I think it differs from human to human having their experience here, but we do not bring our full higher perspective in. I think if we did, it would just negate the game, negate the experience. So we're veiled, and we have a little tiny portion of our higher selves having this experience, and we've got our guides trying to help us through this experience. And at the same time, when you're having that life review, it is a detached perspective, but then they come back. The people we're talking to aren't staying detached. They're not having that detached experience and like, oh, great, wow, I did a good job. This I could have showed up in love more. And who couldn't have shown up in love in more things in their life? Probably every single person. But they have to come back into the humanness. And I think that that is where the sadness is created. That is where the regret is created, because they were in that space of ultimate love where they are love. Here we are not in a state of being of love. We experience love. So to come back from that and have those very clear memories, you've heard all of these NDE'ers say that they experience this in a way that's not like a dream. It's more clear today than it was, it's as clear as it was when they had the experience, whether it was 50 years or 5 years earlier. So from that perspective, you now are having an experience of having to integrate the life review. So I think that that is where you would have that sadness, not from that soul perspective. But excellent question. That was a fun question.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to this. I'm very drawn to learning all I can about the Sasquatch beings. Sasquatch, sorry.
That's okay.
Will the government ever tell us the truth about their existence? First of all, I will talk, and then you can talk.
Well, you know that David had that experience.
I know. So I know you want to talk. But okay, so just like aliens, they haven't come in yet. There's been so much negativity in the world. The beings didn't want to be seen because they would be outcasts. They would be studied. They would be looked upon. Horrible, horrible things that the government has done to aliens and other beings that they have not released or talked about. And I think that they're waiting till we go into this divide where we're going to fourth, fifth consciousness, and then when we're in a more better place of love, then I think they will come out. But go ahead and talk about David.
Okay, so I had an interview that I did, probably 2 years ago with David Millark. David Millark had a near-death experience, and after his near-death experience, an angel came to him, dictated what became a manifesto called that he named Archangel Ancient Tree Archive. They have archived and preserved and planted about 100,000 trees in the last 35 years of having this nonprofit organization. And David had a very unusual experience up in the mountains of California. There is a native community that has the largest sequoia tree in the world. And actually, previously, there was one very close to this native community, but it got burned in the California fires. They didn't think fires could even burn hot enough to get rid of these sequoia trees. But if any of you are familiar with General Sherman at the Sequoia National Park, this sequoia tree that is guarded day and night, 24 hours a day by this Native American community. Their tree is 14 feet wider than General Sherman. So it's a massive tree. And they were warned before that they went to go clone it. So they gathered material from the top of the tree to clone this tree and be able to take this very high quality organic matter to create more sequoia trees to plant across the world to help save these trees. But they were told that it was guarded by what they called their sky brothers and sisters. And it is a Sasquatch family of a husband, a wife, and a child. And they are interdimensional beings. This is why you don't find the dead bodies, the carcasses, the bones, because they're not fully of this dimension. They have learned how to manifest in this dimension, and they have learned how to take themselves out of this dimension. They can also shapeshift and become different entities. So in this case, as David was approaching this massive tree, from behind it came a bear that charged at them, stopped, kind of like skidded at them, stopped, and then disappeared. And they knew that it was the interdimensional Sasquatch beings. He talked to many of the Native American community who were guarding this tree, and almost everybody had either seen it or had a relative who had seen them. So I do believe that they are real.
And they limit who can come in and see it.
Yeah, not just any. David, I think he said he and the two other people who were with him were the first white people that were allowed on the property because it's such a sacred tree, sacred forever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Great question. So, super fun.
Look at this. Watch your shows so much. You were all over my YouTube Wrapped.
Aw. Oh, how nice. That's so
great.
Fun. Oh, I love that. Thank you. I didn't know they were going to do that. I love that they do the Spotify, the end of the year with the Spotify. And it was super fun to have the YouTube Wrapped. Actually, the most watched podcast that I watched was Diary of a CEO. I was in the top 0.7%. They said I watched 67 of his videos. So I really love
right. Okay. And I read about the white diamonds. I think that's so amazing. I'm glad you don't think I'm crazy when you say yes, dragons are very real.
No, nobody's crazy here.
Okay, so I have chronic pain. What could help me when in meditation to try to contact? So I think you're trying to contact spirit. But regarding the chronic pain, okay, you have to pay attention to what you are saying to yourself. Are you saying to yourself a lot that you're sick? What I do, because so I've had a transplant, a kidney and pancreas transplant. I've had a heart attack. I've had 3 strokes. I have lots of medical problems that I've gone through. And I tell myself, I am healthy, I am whole. And I do that before I get out of bed, and I do it before I go to sleep. And I got to tell you, that has helped so much. Not everybody can contact. There was somebody else that said, how do I get downloads on there that that went further up. But not everybody can get that. But some people like Laurie gets downloads, and I just speak with spirit. So they're
I don't get the direct communication with spirit. I don't hear that way.
Right. And when I was younger, I was like, I just want to hear their voice other than my voice. I don't want to be a medium. And then the medium abilities came up, and I'm like, why do I have to have medium abilities? But you just go with what you have. If it's empath abilities, if it's just being in the spiritual community, no matter what it is, you go with that. But regarding the pain, I'm so sorry that you have chronic pain. That's so hard. And I get it. And sometimes you're in bed and you just can't get out. I've been there. Just a few months ago, I was in bed for 2 months and I couldn't get out. And no, I'm saying I'm healthy, I'm whole. It doesn't happen right away, but it does help, and it does happen. but you have to retrain that tape that's going on in your mind.
Well, this has been a struggle for you. You know the technique, and
Yeah.
still it's not always as easy to implement as we would
Exactly.
love it to be.
I'm not saying it's easy by any
Yeah,
means.
I know
I'm
you're
just saying that, you know, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also, the other part of that was the download part. So get ready. Everybody I talk to now, especially the channelers, are saying that these gifts that have been suppressed in us are going to be coming back online. We are upgrading our DNA, and these telepathic abilities, these empathic abilities, these psychic abilities, all of the clears, clear cognizance, clairvoyance, clear audience, they're all going to start coming back online. So just getting into a space where you can just allow and just ask for those to be turned back on. Maybe it's something you do before you go to sleep every night. Go watch Gareth's video. Gareth Diagnam, I had him on twice now, and he didn't have a near-death experience. He's had spiritually transformative experiences, STEs and OBEs, out-of-body experiences, and he practiced and practiced and practiced, and he read some books that he recommended. And so sometimes it's just a light bulb goes on. You never know what it's going to be, and sometimes things just click and they start to work. So don't give up. Just keep trying, I guess.
I love the comment that's done by it looks like authenticity. Is that right? Or art?
Yeah. We'd love to type what your actual name is.
Yeah. The first 5 tapes of the Gateway tapes really helped with my chronic pain. They really help you focus.
Sorry,
it just went out.
Hold on a second. I was just looking, it said top fan. So I just wanted to know what that star meant with the number 1. I haven't seen that before.
Anyways, what you're saying, I'm so glad that you found something that's helped you. And so I wanted to go back to Peak Mind Hub Australia. You asked, is the pain and empathy thing? And you're a single mom, which you said, so people don't help unless I say I'm sore. But I see now I can't play that game. What I wanted, oh, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. I was a single mom too, and I had a lot of medical problems, and I did not have a lot of help. And I have to say that there is a feeling that overcomes your body about not being supported, and it can stay in your body and cause pain. A lot of times our emotions, if we don't get them out, can manifest in our body. They start in your ethereal body and they come in and they can stay in your body. So I want you to also look at that and see how you're feeling about not having more help. And it looks like you should ask people for help. I know it's hard. It's really hard to ask people for help. But you know what? There are so many people that are willing to help if you ask. And I found that a lot while I was a single mom.
And your spirit team also. And also authenticity is Catherine. Hi, Catherine. So nice of you to join today. But yeah, so there's always things that you can do. Don't give up.
Yeah. Oh, don't give up. I tried. I tried to give up. I tried to not be here. But I got to tell you, Spirit sent me back. I mean, I made the decision the first time because they showed me what would manifest in my life. But I came back and I had no knowledge of what they showed me.
Remember, you were just
It
mad.
was so frustrating. I was so mad. I'm like, why would I choose to come back here when I was already there? I was already there. I was so angry at myself. But I realized they must have shown me something that was pretty extraordinary
to come back,
to make me want to come back.
Yeah.
And the fact is, we're here for a reason.
Yeah.
Everybody that's here is here for a reason. We may not understand it while we're here, but we're definitely all here for a reason.
Yeah.
And we affect so many people that we're around. I affect Lori. Lori affects me. People you come into contact with, somebody that just holds the door.
Well, that's why you
that
have a contract with
smile at.
every single person you encounter, because you have the ability to have a ripple effect on every single person. Since you're here, I want to say thank you to my sister. So this is a labor of love. This channel is a labor of love. I'm coming close to 500 videos on this channel now, and I've been doing this for a very long time. I have a full-time corporate job, and it's a super busy corporate job. And Stephanie has, for the last year and a half, you think it's been a year and a half?
Yeah.
Done my bookings for me. So she uses her intuitive ability to decide who to reach out to for guests on the show. And I could not do this show without her because I just don't have enough time. I do most of the editing on my channel, answering the comments. There's just so much work outside of just the interviewing. I usually do about 5 interviews a week. It's just a lot. It's a lot. So thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you not just for being a guest today, but also for your part in how this channel has grown, because these guests are a result of your intuition and reaching out to them and knowing who to talk to.
Thanks. But I want to say, I feel the love and I feel the energy. And if you're here, you're supposed to be here. You're meant to be here. And
she doesn't mean on this live, although you're supposed to be here, but she means
yeah, on the channel. So
Yeah.
if you see negative comments, it's okay. They're still getting what's being said. Maybe not consciously, but subconsciously.
right.
And so just know and send them love. If you see those comments, just send them love. Thank you all
everybody,
for being here.
Yeah, this is really great. So is there anything else? We're gonna stay on here for a few more minutes. We have dinner with my parents tonight. So if anybody has any more questions that they want to ask, thank you, love you, and so grateful for every single person that watches and comments and participates. It's just amazing. It's amazing how this has grown.
Oh, wow.
Wondering how you do all this work. It's incredible. Thank you both for making this happen. It's been a true blessing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. There's just like this drive that I had. I've been driven my whole life. I've always been super active and do a lot of things. But this channel, I think I probably spend about 35 hours a week on this channel and about 45 hours a week on my corporate job. So a lot of my free time goes to the comments, to interviewing, to editing. Editing takes a long time. And I'm adding lives on here, but
also, if any of you are wanting a reading, I do readings. You can contact me at loveliveson111@gmail.com. I'm not exorbitant prices. I don't have exorbitant prices. I'm very, very reasonable. And so I do hour-long readings for anybody that's may want to come and have a reading. And I do them through Zoom or on the phone.
Oh, so somebody just said this live has re-inspired me. I'd love to know what part of it re-inspired you. The potential earthquakes are overwhelming, especially if you don't have a place aligned. Any advice? Okay. There are a couple of truths that I feel like I've uncovered in having all of these spiritual conversations and being on the path and being on the other side. So the one thing that I know is that you are a being of love, and that you have a contract that you brought in with you to experience whatever you want to experience. And what that means is that you have different exit points that you've chosen to leave. So nobody dies before their time.
Yeah.
I've witnessed it over and over again. If it's not somebody's time, you hear them hopefully on my show coming back to talk about their NDE. So there is really nothing to do other than the normal preparation that you would want to have if something happened. If you need an escape plan, if you live in that area, maybe you make sure that your car doesn't get below a quarter or tank of fuel or a half of a tank of gas. You make sure that you have some provisions if you needed to heat something, to boil water, to clean water, to use water, to food. Like if you have pets, maybe you have a little bit of extra food for them. And beyond that, there's really nothing that you can do. If it's going to be your time, it's going to be your time. Yeah. There is zero fear of death for me. And I really try not to spend a lot of time thinking about that future. I'm trying to live my life in more of the present moment. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You don't have control over an earth rift, over an earthquake, over anything. I've introduced people on the channel in Kristen's video to Stephen Burns, who's a geophysicist. He's really fascinating. I love that he marries science and the navigation and the systems that are in place for diagnosing things that are happening on the earth, but he's also looking at planetary alignments and talking about how those affect things. And he talks about a lot of evidential information from this is what happened when the earth looked like this with this alignment, with these different activities that were happening. And I feel like that helps people to understand the potential maybe of harm that's coming in their way. I don't know what to tell you if you don't have a place to go. I would just say you're right where you're supposed to be. And everything is unfolding for you perfectly the way it's supposed to. Death to me is not the worst thing that could happen. Right. I think that brings you some comfort, but easier said by somebody else than done, especially when you've been on the other side.
So we had a couple of people that wanted to know how to reach me.
Okay.
And
you can type it right in the chat. You type it in the chat. Go ahead.
It's a email address. And
you see where you are? You've got to go to here. Hold
Hang
on. Technically challenged just a little bit.
Just like my mom.
No. Okay. Oops. And I'm trying to read the other comments that are in here.
Oh, you're
okay. Put a link in the comments. What was the contact for? Okay, there we go. That's right. Potential earthquakes. Is there anybody else?
There we go.
Got it in there.
Whoops, it's not going there.
Sorry.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
There we go.
That's
correct.
I'm not posting these live yet. I'm not posting these lives yet. I'm kind of saving them. I have a few things I'm going to be introducing in 2026. I'm working on some things potentially for people, but my commitment right now is that I'm going to do a live every Wednesday at 5 Pacific, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. And the only one I'm going to miss is I've got a business trip to Philadelphia that I've got to go to on Wednesday, the 27th of January. So that one's going to be a miss. But other than that, I'm really making a commitment to do this. And I am just so grateful for every single one of you who showed up today.
The other thing is when you email me, let me know you were on this and I will give you a discount.
Oh, that's so nice.
So I will do that. So normally I do an hour reading for 125 and I will do an hour reading for just 100. So compared to everybody else, that's really, really reasonable. I don't do it to make money. I do it to spread the love, but I do have to live. So
I know.
So
there's always that. Okay, well, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night on this, but oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. It just makes me so happy that everybody showed up. Thank you so much for the support of the channel. If there are things that you would like to see, if there are guests that you are aware of who I haven't interviewed, I always am open to suggestions. You can put them in the comments. And because you were on this and it's public right now, you should be able to add to the comments even after I close this out. So
okay, so do you mentor? I have not mentored. Spirit comes through and talks, and so I'm just a vehicle for that. And do I do live readings? I mean group readings? Yes. And so I think that's it. Laura Van.
Okay, thank you. I think I had her on my show. I'm almost positive that name is so familiar. Didn't she fall off a horse? Like, it's really, it's crazy, guys. It is crazy that I have probably done over 300 of these interviews now, probably closer to 350. I am starting to have such a hard time remembering who is who. And it gets a little tricky when you start to see these people in person, like at an IANS conference. I'm like, I know their face. I know I spent 45 minutes. I know I spent 2.5 hours editing their video, and I just can't remember them anymore. But one of the things that I did start to do at the end of 2025 is I've introduced 2 new playlists on the channel. One playlist is a group of what I call the most extraordinary experiences of people that I've interviewed. You'll see names like Christian Sundberg. I put Gareth in there. I put Aaron, who I recently interviewed, Aaron Green, in December. I have a bunch of people on that list. I think there's 28 people. That list will grow over time, and I have to try and be real discerning on who I put in there, because it's easy to keep on adding and adding. It's like a favorites for your songs, right? You just keep adding to it. But I also have a list that I call my personal top 10. That is going to be a list that also changes, but it doesn't grow. So I have to pull somebody out to add somebody in if I think that they had a really extraordinary experience. And it's not necessarily that theirs is any better than anybody else's. It just hit me in a certain way to make my top 10 list. So those are on the channel now too.
She said I talked to you in September. I assume that's me. That's awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
nice.
good. And you both are amazing women. Thank you for sharing. Oh, we love that.
Yes,
and
thank you.
we just want to spread the love
And
and
thank you, Steph, for coming on
help
my
the
show.
consciousness.
I love my sister.
So
Okay.
it's so nice to speak with everybody, and Lori will continue her lives.
Yeah,
and
so hopefully I'll see you all next Wednesday. Okay, everybody. So the last thing I'll say to everybody is thank you so much more for what you are doing to help wake up the collective. It is so needed right now. So
yes,
thank you, everybody, for watching.
Bye. Wow, that's amazing.
End it. Okay.